This is Barnstable Today for Friday, March 6th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford, and please keep in mind that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Dollars and cents dominate the town council meeting. That's our main focus today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
The town's Director of Finance, Mark Milne, delivered his annual review last night of the town's financial position.
Milne, who says some folks in town have been calling him Nostra Dollar lately, outlined the impact of the national and international economic downturn. But he also had some good news.
The good news, finally, to wrap things up. Even with all of this negative financial news that we hear every single day in the papers, we've been able to maintain our AAA bond rating with S&P, our AA1 rating with Moody's. Those were reaffirmed recently in June by S&P and in August by Moody's. And there's no reason to believe that there's any threat to lose those. And so we haven't heard any concerns from either agency, and we'll know again in June because we have another small bond issue that we anticipate bringing forward to the market in June for about $4 million. Borrowing rates are at their all-time lows. If we could find a way to borrow money to do some capital, if we had that kind of money laying around or that capacity to lay around, it's a great time to borrow money. I think one of the counselor from Precinct 5 told us recently what a great deal one of the local fire districts got, and that's the case. That's what it is right now. We're seeing communities out there issuing 10-year, 15-year bonds right now at under 3%. Some communities are receiving because there's a real desire in the investment market for people. People are looking for secure investments, and municipals are some of the most secure investments people can get, plus they're tax-free. Home prices have fallen, making them more affordable, and the borrowing rates are still low. So that could help people. First-time home buyers or people looking to get into the housing market. It's starting to become more realistic for them. Credit markets are starting to loosening a little bit, creating some availability for people. Fuel prices have dropped. Utilities could follow. We have seen drops in, we all know what we were paying for gas last summer. It's significantly below that now, half the price, and hopefully that'll affect natural gas prices and the cost of electricity as well. We do anticipate grant funds. There's been a lot of talk about grant funds becoming available. They're not, we're watching this on a daily basis, but we have some clean and renewable energy projects that DPW is looking at that we could potentially be eligible for some grant funds for. There's some economic development grant funds out there that the Federal Stimulus Act is providing, and hopefully will become available for that. And there's some grant funds that they're talking about to provide some financial stability that are going to the states. We'll have to work with the states to try to see if we can get some of that. Construction costs should decline as competition grows in this type of market. So that's something to be positive about. And it also provides us in situations when we become are subject to situations like this, opportunities to reflect on what's important to us as a community. There's no better time to do that. So we have a great chance of doing that. So that's all I have, Mr. President. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Money was also the issue last night as the school department was seeking an appropriation for an environmental cleanup undertaken at the Hyannis West Elementary School.
The superintendent of schools, Dr. Patricia Grenier, provided the background.
You may recall that probably at least 6 months ago I came before the council to explain the discovery of chloridane, which is a extinct pesticide for present use, but not an extinct pesticide for its life cycle. And we had an oil spill inside the furnace boiler room inside the Hyannis West Elementary School on November 19th, 2007. There was a small volume of number 4 oil that went to a drain in the floor. The drain is connected to a catch basin outside And an oil spill is an oil spill, no matter how much. At that point in time, we responded to the oil spill. Clean Harbors was called in, and all appropriate protocols were followed at that time. And we covered the cost, the school department covered the cost for the removal of the oil at that time, including at the catch basin. These issues there's a requirement to notify Department of Environmental Protection when these kinds of things happen. We did so, and testing is required. Part of the resolution for the oil spill was to address the catch basin, and we commissioned testing to be done to make sure that all of the oil had been removed. The test results were fine for the oil, but in the test results, an anomaly was discovered. That anomaly was then pursued by the laboratories, and the anomaly, it became evident, was that there was an inappropriately high level of chlordane 10 feet down in the catch basin, in the walls of the catch basin. That then, therefore, created its own required reporting to the Department of Environmental Protection because
the presence of chlordine used liberally back in the 1970s as a pesticide made the cleanup complicated.
At this point in time, all testing has been done, all removal of soil has been done. We had to actually find specialized companies to take the contaminated soil and process it. One of those companies was, there is one in Canada, one in Ohio. We had to truck tons of material out there for proper incineration. And at the time when I explained this both to the school committee and to the town council, I was encouraged to bring it to the town council as emergency relief for funding. It has taken us this long to resolve all aspects of it because there were issues. The issue, luckily for us, remained primarily below the surface of the ground. But we did go through significant testing and hired a risk management firm to do analysis of the soil samples above ground and in the playground.
The ripple effects from the chlordane cleanup continue at Hyannis West, and the cost is substantial.
The one remaining piece of this is that the school committee must pass a policy in the very near future that we will never grow vegetables or produce on the grounds of the Hyannis West property because the remaining chlordane could get into the vegetables and still be an issue. Other than that, it is basically over and resolved, but it was a very costly and very time-consuming problem.
Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Butler, if we could hear from the Assistant Town Manager, please.
Yes, I think the superintendent has done an excellent job of giving the background, and I just wanted to add for the public record that the costs incurred to date to meet the mandated response to both the oil spill and the chlordane cleanup is $231,904, and that the fiscal impact it is proposed that funding for this item be funded from the town council's reserve as it qualifies as an extraordinary and unforeseen event. This would essentially be a borrowing from the council's reserve fund. The town council's reserve fund would be replenished at the end of fiscal year 2009 when the financial records are closed. It will be replenished first with excess revenue earned over budget estimates. If the town fails to generate excess revenue, it will then have to be replenished with returned appropriations and or transfers from the savings account balances. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
The appropriation received unanimous approval from the town council.
And if you would like to check out last night's town council meeting, it's available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Meanwhile, no meetings on the town calendar tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here on Monday. I'm Mark Mumford.